Hello, world. Thank you so much for joining me on today. I'm going to finally get into, well, not necessarily finally, because I feel like some of my some of my videos are political in a sense when we're talking about pop culture, but hey, it is what it is. So we are finally getting into some politics. It is 2023. We are getting the ground running in the 2024 election season because a lot of people don't know that when election season is always going and they're always pre-planning at least a year or two before they actually start get the ground running in that particular year. How do I know? Because I just got off a campaign for Tarrant County Criminal Court number 7. I was a political social media manager with that campaign. And mind you, we were on the ground running for at least 2 years. Unfortunately, she lost her race, but it shows how much effort and how much work comes into running a political campaign. And me being a political social media manager, I thought it would be best just to kind of go in and dive into some politics. So let's go. So now that we are over with the 2020 midterm elections, um, everybody is getting sworn in. Everybody is kind of taking their feet into their newly elected positions, especially in Congress, local elections, state elections. So we've had opening days from everybody. But y'all, if y'all have been living under a rock with our U.S. Politics, you haven't been looking at social media. How that it took like at least 15 times to elect a Speaker of the House. Like the newly run Republican Congress, well, not Congress, the newly Republican House, it took them 15 times to elect a Speaker of the House. And the drama ensued. It was like one of the things that came about. It landed in a fist fight. I was like, oh my god, let me get my popcorn and tea because the Democrats are just laughing and we're just eating it all up because, if you really pay attention to politics, the Republicans were going in on being professional. They have a plan. They know what to do, this, that, and the third. But it took y'all at least 15 times just to get a Speaker of the House, and every single time it was the same person that couldn't get the votes. But now he got them. He got them with a lot of concessions. And so if that's just the first of many things that's going to be happening in the House, I don't know what's going to be happening as far as like on a federal level on how bills are going to be coming across, if it's just going to be one thing or another, because mind you, the Republicans only have a slim margin when it comes to being majority in the House. Now the Democrats have the Senate, so it is a split Congress where Democrats control the Senate, Republicans control the House. But with any law that comes through, it has to be passed by both entities. So they really have to work together to make them not bipartisan. Which I don't know how well that's going to work, but we're going to see. We've been trying to pass bills since bills became a thing, and the bills keep stacking. The bills keep stacking. But hey, but now that the drama has subsided, everybody has been officially sworn in. I'm super excited for my representative, Representative Jasmine, at Jasmine for Us. She ran her race for the Congressional District 32, and also but it's just those types of things where it's when you have that type of drama within Congress at the federal level, you can expect that type of drama on every level of government. I mean, it was just not even 2 years ago with the Texas House that all the Democrats left, so a bill wouldn't be passed in order to close the session. But eventually, of course, Greg Abbott, once they returned back to Texas soil, he did a special session, which a governor can do. But I mean, it's just the drama, the issues that's in politics that everyone loves and adores, and also the tweets. The tweets. If you really want to get into politics, if you really wanted to have a laugh for the day, just check out like all of our elected officials, and usually a lot of the times they're on Twitter and they're handling their own Twitter pages. They have an official page, but they also have their personal ones, and those are verified as well. And that's where a lot of the drama ensues on Twitter, because of course you would see Representative so and so or Senator this, like it's just hilarious. And maybe one day I may go and do a video about how like the reads on social media coming from, especially the squad. AOC, she be hitting them. Shout out to AOC. And so, but the thing about it is, now that we are ending the 2020 midterm elections, we need to start focusing on 2023 elections. Those are the elections that are very important. Those are a lot of the elections that either special elections for federal, some elections that are coming about for the state level, and who's going to be leaving and who's going to be coming in. Also, your local elections, because there's always something going on as far as within your local community that you can be a part of. So it's important to research your candidates. Once your ballot is formed, primaries are over with, you need to research your candidates. Research them. Like, do a deep dive, because you need to know who the person is representing you. Because, of course, there's still drama in Congress with Representative George Santos, where he basically lied on his resume, and half the stuff he put on resume didn't go around, wasn't even true. Same thing with President Trump. Like, he got into politics with no resume whatsoever and became the president of the United States. Now we got a representative in Congress that lied majority about his resume and won, and now is facing scrutiny and asking to be resigned because he lied to the American people. And he's like, no. He has every right to be. And if there's going to be a complaint and they go through the formal process of getting him ousted, then that's what they do. But a lot of people can prevent that from happening if you just research your candidate. Don't rely on the commercials. Don't rely on just what the hearsay is. Please research. Go to these candidates' Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter, because there are a lot of candidates that are using social media now, because that's an intimate part of what you need to do as far as running a political campaign. You have to have a social media presence. And a lot of candidates are getting onto TikTok. Like with my strategy, when I worked with the political candidate that I was working with, we had a TikTok. She was known for hashtag TikTok Judge. So I would send her like videos and examples and sounds and trending this, and let her go and shine. There was a lot of videos that came up that had a lot of views because just using trending sounds or just using something to gravitate to their audience, like knowing who they are and what they're about. So continuing to do those things and having those strategies. So a lot of politicians and aspiring politicians are creating a verse for their social media platform, and they're creating a strategy for that. Not just knocking on doors, not just sending mailers. They are using social media because social media is the future, and you can't go nowhere unless somebody's looking you up on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever the case may be. Like, you need to have some type of presence. And of course, if you're an aspiring practitioner, I am your girl for Possibilities Management. I own Possibilities Management, and I can help you create your social media strategy because I am a political social media manager. And so, well, now that you have researched your candidates, once the campaign is started, that's how you can make an informed decision. And hear me, an informed decision on who you would like to vote for in this upcoming election. And so those things are very much important because it either makes or breaks your community. Because a lot of people have gone focused on what happens at the federal level when a lot of the times it's just the local level that makes the difference in everything. If you have representation on local level, you can get your representation on the state level, and then you can go on to the federal level, and that's how laws are changed, and that's how movements are started. It's started by one person. It started by a group of people, and it moves on to where it comes to where it showers all over everyone's front page. Everyone's paying attention to it because it all starts one video. It all starts with one person that just says something, and it blows up, and it has has fireworks. We've seen it multiple times, and the same thing with the politician, or aspiring politician. But yeah, let's look a little bit into the presidential election, because we're coming into the presidential election in 2024, and there's a lot of talk about it. So let's look at the candidates that, well, not even saying are the potential candidates, and some actually have already set their marker in. So let's take a look at these potential people. Of course, President Joe Biden, he declared that he is running for a second term. He declared very early on in his presidency. When I voted, I wholeheartedly believe that because of his age, which he's 80 by the way, that he wouldn't want to go for a re-election, because that's another 4 years. You're going to be like literally 85 before you come out of office. Granted, this is something that he's always wanted. He's one of those career politicians, which I have a different opinion when it comes to career politicians. Like, I understand that you want to work for the people, but things change, different things happen, and we need different people to enact different things. And so I really feel that there shouldn't be career politicians. I think you should have a service. You should be of service to the people, but also make a change. Everything is changing each and every day, each and every second. So we should have our politicians reflect that change, where we shouldn't be like, oh, we have the first Gen Z into Congress, which is great. It's awesome. We have the diversity, but we need more. We need more diversity in age, in color, not in and just everything in between. We need more young people to be running for office. We need more outside of the thinker boxers to go into office. I probably said that wrong, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, President Biden, he is one of the front runners, and he's one that is going to be going into the presidential election in 2024. And so his team has been actively working since. Probably they're going to start ramping up services now since they're in 2023. Next, we've already heard that former President Trump is running for office yet again, even though he was ousted by President Biden in 2020. 2020? Jesus, I had to think for a second. I had to stop and think. I was like, wait, 2020, yes. He was ousted by President Biden in 2020, but he feels like he can make America great again, so he is re-running again. With his biggest competitor, it would be Ronald DeSantis. I know I'm saying his name wrong, and I think he's the governor of Florida, or the representative of Florida. He's out of Florida. I'll probably have the thing on the notes here. But yeah, he that's his major competitor for the Republican Party, is Ron DeSantis. And he's 44 years old, Ron DeSantis. He hasn't officially declared that he's running for president of the United States, but we're all like keeping a close eye on him. This one was a shocker to me that I heard her name was in the count of running. Is Stacey Abrams. We all know, and most of us love Stacey Abrams. She's very articulate. She knows how to get people to the polls. She fights for the greater good. And she is the main reason why Georgia turned blue back in 2022. 2020 and 2022. So, like, if she is running to be the first black female president, I'm here. I am all for it. I hope that she does, because she is a person that takes action. She's a person that I feel that could make a difference. But the question is America ready for a black woman to be president? Because obviously Georgia wasn't ready for her to be governor, which that's a whole different story. But we here. If you coming, if you're there, we coming for you. So next, Pete Buttigieg. I had to get his name right. Pete Buttigieg, Democrat. He is thinking about running for office this time around, because he was also one of the Democratic candidates that was running in the primaries back in 2020, and then he resigned and backed President Joe Biden. But there is some whispers that he may launch into a presidential campaign in 2024. So and he will be the first openly gay president and the youngest, from what I'm being told. Um, but it wouldn't be such a surprise if he declares that he's running. But he is right now I think he's what is he, the Secretary of Transportation, I believe. I'll fact check myself. And so it would be interesting. It would be interesting for him to throw his hat into the ring. Next up, we have Liz Cheney. Now, if you don't know who Liz Cheney is, this is the person that one of the Republicans that voted for President Trump to be impeached. She was very much fighting for the integrity of the Republican Party, and also she is the daughter of uh, Dick Cheney, who was also vice president. And so um, she very much got in stride in the moderate Republican circle for standing her ground. And then she also got a lot of votes from Democratic voters in her state because of what she stood for, because she knew that putting in a vote for her to impeach Trump could backfire politically. But she didn't care. She knew that former President Trump was wrong, and she did what was right in the best interest of her morals and not what people expected her to do in regards to being in the Republican Party. Kudos to her. So it would be a very interesting race if she joins her hat into that. Next, we have Cancun Cruz, or Ted Cruz, Representative Ted Cruz. This is the person that I very much wish that he would have been booted out of office when Beto was running against him. But hey, here we are. But he is thinking about throwing his hat back into the presidential ring. He did have his hat in 2020, and he didn't. He was not denounced. Jesus, not denounced. He dropped out of the race because he knew he didn't have the numbers, and then ended up backing former President Trump in that race, even though President Trump was very disrespectful. But hey, I don't know what hold President Trump has on the Republican Party, but he has it. I don't know, but he has it. And so he's thinking about throwing his hat into the ring. And so there's a lot of others that are thinking about it, but we don't really have any confirmation of who's actually running besides Joe Biden and President Joe Biden and former President Trump. There was also some names as far as like Nikki Haley, Kamala Harris. They're throwing her name into the atmosphere, but it was already reported that she was going to be running beside President Joe Biden in 2024 as well. So she may break off tickets, she may not. Also, Josh Hawley, I don't even know who that person is. I know he's a representative in Congress, so, or Larry Hogan. There are some names that I'm just looking at and be like, wait, what? But there was also some names that they just threw out just because they put out AOC as a potential for to go into the presidential election. I highly doubt that she would, because there's still some work to be done in Congress, and she is doing that work. And I feel like that she needs to stay where she is until, well, I don't know, until she's ready to run for president. I mean, hell, she has the backing for it if she up and decides. So I feel like all power to her, and I would definitely vote for her. Also, Elizabeth Warren, there's talks where she may think that she may be running. She's the Secretary of Education, so it may happen. It may not, but there's a lot of people that are looking to throw their hat into the presidential election, but we just don't know who is gonna actually come out and actually say, like, these are the candidates, and we won't know that until like later on into the year. And so we'll just patiently watch the CNN and the MSNBC and all that kind of great stuff, because of course when drama ensues, the news people and social media are on the way. But I just want to end this in basically saying, like, even regardless of who declares win for the presidential election, please be mindful and vote. Vote for your local, state, and federal representative. Vote down the ballot. Vote for the people that you feel will represent your best interests. Do not vote for party. Party is not what we choose to vote for. And at the end of the day, you need to understand that just because that person is in a certain party doesn't necessarily mean that they follow all of those party line agendas. or it may not be in the best interest for you personally. So it's important to research, it's important to know who your candidates are, and it's important to know that when they go and get elected and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then you have the power to kick them out. And we need to stop repeating people, and we need to stop just letting it be and not voting when we know that there are certain people in office that shouldn't be in office. And it's time for them to go. The greatest example was when former President Trump was ousted in 2020, and Joe Biden is now. And so not a lot of people are big fans of President Joe Biden. That's fine. There are other people out there that you can raise into the national stage and get to that point, whether it be the names that I listed today or whether it be somebody else that you feel that will make a better president than President Biden or former President Trump. Who knows? Hell, we may have our first female president, and I'll be ecstatic for that too. Who knows? That's what a democracy is, and that's what a democracy stands for. So thank you so much for joining me on today. Thank you for this. Please remember to subscribe, like this video if you like it. If there's any questions that you want me to answer, please let me know. If you want more insight as me being a political social media manager, like and comment that as well. I'll take all questions, and let's get into a discussion and debate about it. It's your girl LD Marie, and we are out. Don't forget to subscribe and like to my channel. And there'll be more videos about different things that happen here, because my channel is all about being American expat, social work, travel, politics, and pop culture. So you don't want to miss anything. You can see me on video form, or you can do your audio pleasures of Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. So let me know. Just subscribe, like, and follow me. Also follow me on Instagram, because Let Them See Your Mind has an Instagram. So come on, follow, subscribe, like, comment. Let me hear you make some noise.